chillin' and you will hear about the eliminating of the negative and an accent on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the joyful Frugalista, and now here's your host, Serina Bird.
It's Friday night, and in our household that means pizza. Most nights we celebrate the end of the week with making pizza, and once you know how, it is so easy. And the best thing is you can also use all sorts of leftovers in your fridge for making a delicious pizza. So I make mine with a slight sourdough tang, and it's the easiest thing ever, and I'm going to show you how. So firstly, we get 200 mils of water. I'm using my Kogan Thermo Blend, which just makes things a bit easier. And this is my sourdough starter. And I put a little bit of that in there. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Now, all pizza recipes traditionally use olive oil, but I'm going to be really honest here and say that because olive oil, as lovely as it is quite expensive. Usually when I make it at home, I mean, look how beautiful this olive oil is. It's Australian olive oil from Oli Mia. It's just beautiful. But usually when I'm making it for family, I'll just add another kind of good quality oil, such as rice bran oil, which is a bit cheaper. But today I'm going to use the good stuff. And this is 2.5 cups of good quality white flour. So this is a baker's flour. Sometimes I might need a bit more, so it always just depends. So just watch it, and if need be, I'll add a bit more to it. And this is some yeast, and this is only 1/2 teaspoon. Because I've got a little bit of the sourdough starter in, I don't need as much yeast. If you're not using the sourdough starter, put 1 1/3 teaspoons, but this is only 1/2 teaspoon. Then we'll put my lid on and put it in, and we're going to cook it up. Because the weather's a bit cold tonight, it's not quite winter, but it's starting to feel like that. I'm going to put this on for about 10 minutes, and I'm going to put it on at about temperature 30 degrees to make it a little bit warmer. And I'm going to put it on speed 1. So it's a little bit faster than normal, but it's not too fast. In fact, I might even just, because we want to watch it, put it up a little bit more. So that's up to speed 2. So now we're going to roll out the pizza dough. This one's been rising for about an hour. You could leave it to rise a bit longer. I like my pizza dough to be quite crispy. I don't like mine to be too thick, but it's a personal preference. If you want yours to be thicker, you can let it rise a bit longer. And you might notice my special bowl that I've got for proving. This is an old rice cooker bowl that a friend brought over that she didn't eat anymore, and it turns out that it's perfect for proving bread in. So I really love that. So this is the dough. Look how lovely it is. It's beautiful. I'm going to cut that in about half. So look how beautiful that dough is. Just lovely. I'm going to make it into a bit of a ball like that. Feels a bit like a baby's bottom. I shouldn't say that too loud. I don't habitually go filling up other people's babies' bottoms, but it has that nice kind of smooth and warm kind of feeling to it. So my rolling pin, if you're wondering, this is something I bought in Taiwan. It's just a much smaller rolling pin than we often use in a Western kitchen. I find it much easier to use. It's much more agile. It's less heavy. It's less confronting. And the best thing is it needs a lot less space to store in my kitchen. And it's great for making dumplings as well because it's a little bit more agile. It can move a little bit more. So good pizza dough cooks in the past, they used to throw their pizza dough up. Maybe I should try. I don't think I will pass the test, but you know, you can be all fancy, I guess, if you want. Thankfully, I caught that. That was lucky. I didn't catch that. That would have to be edited out, I think. Maybe not. I just wanted to have it nice and thin. This one's not perfectly round, but it will do. In fact, it could probably be a bit bigger. This is my pizza tray. It's a good old-fashioned pizza tray. As you can see, it's had years of baking pizzas. And then I put my pizza onto it. Ideally, you want to have it so it covers to the edges, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't. Not everything does. And then voila, we have a pizza base. So now that I have rolled out my pizza dough, this is the fun thing, and this is creating our pizzas. So as part of our Friday night pizza making tradition, one of our challenges is to use up whatever we've got in the fridge. And some weeks we have some really crazy combinations. Now, I didn't think we had anything. We were, before when the camera was off, we were going, oh, but we don't have anything. What are we going to have? And we've managed to find things. We're a little bit low on cheese, but we found we've got some brie. So some of them we'll do with brie and ham and mushrooms. We don't have fresh mushrooms, but we've got some dehydrated ones, some ones we foraged. We've got some ham and salami. Of course, we've got pineapple, which is my Neil's favourite, some tomatoes, some homemade olives, some capers, some chilies and some onions and a few things. So by the time we finish, we're going to have a fabulous pizza supreme. So the first thing is to put on some tomato paste. Now, most recipes will tell you to put oil on first, and oil is really yummy to put olive oil in, but you know, we probably don't need too much oil in our lives, and we've used this method for years and it's fine. Often we'll use tomato sauce that you get for making bolognese sauce, and that also works really well. It's slightly less concentrated and it's a little bit of a wetter sauce, but today I'm just going to use normal tomato paste because that's what we had. So there we go. How easy is that? And then we get to have fun with putting things on. So maybe I should ask everyone what they want. Let's start with some pieces of salami first, because I always think that looks so pretty, the round pieces of salami. It just frames a pizza so nicely. Just looks really nice, I think. And maybe I might get some slices of ham and I might tear some up and put some around just to add something else. I have cut up some onions. So not too many onions. I probably put on a bit too many, but it'll be all good in the end. Oh, I nearly forgot some lovely tomatoes. These are probably going to be the last of the fresh vine ripened tomatoes for this season, because we're already in May. We've already had our first frost this year, so this is probably our last one. So it's good to enjoy some of these while they're still around. Some of our field forest mushrooms, they've been rehydrating really nicely, which is good. And I'm just going to squeeze some of the water out of those. Now, a word on foraging for mushrooms. You do have to be really careful and you have to know what you're doing. There are a number of varieties that are highly toxic. We know these ones aren't because we've eaten these before. They come from my in-laws' property and my father-in-law has been eating them for years. My mother-in-law doesn't like them, or else she'd be eating them too. So we know that these ones are okay, but when in doubt with mushrooms and foraging, don't is the big thing. If you're not sure what you're cooking, just don't. And these are some of my homemade olives. So these ones were made last year. A friend had olives in his backyard, or has olives in his backyard, and we went down at Easter last year and we picked a whole heap together as a family and we brined them, and now they're ready to eat and they're really yummy. If I had more time, sometimes I cut out the pips, but I think most people know to be careful and to eat around them, and I actually quite like eating them around them, so I do them that way. So I love olives on pizza. They're probably one of my favourite things. This is a little bit of basil from our balcony. It's not the best looking because, like I said, it's the last of the season. We've already had a few frosts, so we're lucky it hasn't completely disappeared, but we're just going to use a little bit of the last of the basil that we've got. And then finally, some cheese. When we can, we like to use mozzarella. A lovely mozzarella is amazing on a pizza, but if you're on a budget, it is quite okay to use a normal cheddar cheese. Oh, My husband's reminded me of something really important that we've forgotten. Pineapple, his favourite. Thank you, honey. How could I forget the pineapple? Apparently there's this whole commentary, this divisive commentary about whether or not you should put pineapple on pizza. Some people say it's sacrilegious. Other people say that they cannot live without pineapple on their pizza. So I would just say to that, it's a personal taste. It's your own home. You can cook whatever you like. If you want to have pineapple on your pizza, and obviously my husband does because he reminded me I forgot to put them on.
You could put lots on.
He reminded me we need to put lots on.
I'd have to be frugal with that.
We're not allowed to be frugal with the pineapple. Got that. Thank you. You will love this pizza, honey. Maybe not everyone will, but this has lots and lots of pineapple. So this is an ultimate supreme pizza. How much cheese you have is up to you. I find that too much actually makes it a bit too heavy and it doesn't really cook through properly.
Makes it oily too.
Makes it a bit oily and it's not good if you've got a heart condition. But of course, a pizza without cheese is just not really quite the same. So it's a bit like pineapple. It's a personal taste. So that's our pizza and we're going to put it in the oven now. It's on a very hot oven and we'll put it in.
So what temperature did you set the oven for?
Well, it wasn't actually as hot as it should be, so it's now up to 220 degrees. So this is the second pizza we're making tonight. And as I mentioned, we're running a bit low on the normal cheddar cheese. So we're going to actually use this beautiful double brie cheese. Now we got this on special at our supermarket because it was really close to its best before date. One thing you may not know about these lovely creamy cheeses like brie or camembert is they're actually at their best when they're on or close to their best before. That is actually when they're best before. So we bought this at I think about a third of their original price or perhaps less. So I was like, thank you very much. We will definitely buy those. So because we're running low on cheese, we're going to use a slightly different method. And like I said, this is your pizza at home. You can do whatever you like. So in this case, we're doing something that is a bit radically different. And who knows, I think it's going to be even nicer perhaps than a traditional mozzarella, or at least it's going to be different. It's your own unique taste. And I wondered too about whether to still have the tomato paste base with this, but I think it'll still be nice. So we've done that. And then I'm just chopping up a little bit of ham to put with this. Of course, you could make this into a vegetarian version if you had friends who were vegetarian but not vegan and so therefore ate cheese, which is good. And someone told me recently that a lot of bries are actually a bit more friendly for people who are lactose intolerant. So if you've got someone who's lactose intolerant, try it, see if it works, as in, you know, a low intolerance level rather than actually making them sick and needing to risk it. So just putting this through here. I think this is going to it looks really nice and hopefully it'll taste really yummy as well. And some of our mushrooms that are rehydrating nicely. Put some of those on there. These have such beautiful flavour. I know you can't smell things on the camera, but if you did, you would be able to smell just how rich they are. They have a flavour that's so totally different from commercially grown mushrooms. Although, as I said, you really need to know what you're doing when you're going mushrooming. You need to know that what variety they are, and you need to be in an area that's safe. If in doubt, don't. And I'm going to top these with some capers, just for something a bit different. I usually like capers with smoked salmon type things, but they work really well with ham as well. A bit bunchy there, so I'll just move some of them away to make them a bit nicer. Excellent. So there we have an innovative, I've run out of normal melting cheese pizza, which has a double brie, ham, mushrooms and capers on it, and we're about to put it in the oven. It's smelling so good, I might add too. So now for the moment of truth. I'm going to take the first pizza, the Supreme with extra pineapple on it, out of the oven. Look at that. Fresh pineapple. Well, canned pineapple. Fresh pizza. Yummy. So, oh, look at that. So, I think I needed to put a bit more flour on the bottom of this, but it's still going to be delicious. Beautiful. Look at that. Somewhere at some point we did have a proper pizza cutter, but we usually find that by the time we find it, we don't really need it. So I think we even gave ours away. I tend to just use a big sharp knife, and that does the trick. And there we have it. Homemade pizza. Voila. Now we're going to sit down and enjoy. And now I get to enjoy some of the pizza that I've just made.
Oh, listen to me, chillin' Anna. You will hear about the eliminating of the negative and an accent on a positive.
Gather round me, children, if you're willing, and sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right.
You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between.